Now we're going to now proceed to describing the VOR exercise practice that we have. Now the VOR again allows me to change between simple background, complex background, or moving background. So I'm just going to take the simple background. We do not have the choice of the 3D tutor, so continue without the device. Okay. Again, we have the different library of head movements. Okay, with the instructions. Okay, so we have the different library of head movements with the instructions. Now, when I press next, let's just keep this instruction here, and we're going to demonstrate what the game looks like, okay, and what is the default setting. So when I press play, we have a metronome, okay. Now the metronome is signaling to me the amplitude, or in each beat, when I'm going to move my head to the right and to the left. But I keep my gaze on the center circle. Now each time I'm moving my head onto the center circle, okay, each time the number changes, I should announce what number I actually see, okay? So that's just checking that I can actually differentiate between different numbers as they change, okay? So we're now going to go into settings, and we're going to show you the settings that we have. So we have the same settings as we had before. Again, bearing in mind we have a simple, so it's just contrast that we can change here. The work rest one has moved up because we have different settings. We have a dwell time and a beats per minute time, okay? And we can change what that target is, whether it's numbers, letters, or symbols. Remember, if it's a numbers, I have to tell the therapist what number is seen changing, or letter, what letter is seen, or symbol, which direction is shown to me. And we'll run through that in a second. But we have here the metronome, 180 beats per minute. So we can go from 70 or 60 through to 240. So my instructions to the patient are, when you hear the pip, to actually move their head. Okay, so move their head from the right to the left as each time they move the pip, or move their head according to the library instructions each time they hear the pip or the beep. Okay, now let's have a look at dwell time. Okay, so that's the dwell time, is the time that each symbol, each letter stays on the screen before it changes. So let's take a longer dwell time so we can see how that actually works. Okay, so I'm just going to take about 100, let's take 120 beats per minute, okay? We're going to press apply. We're now using letters because you saw numbers. We're going to use letters now, okay? So we press play, and that is the metronome telling me, as each beep occurs, to do the head movement according to the library. Now, the dwell time, the 3 seconds, is how long it takes for each one of those letters to change. So obviously, if I'm reducing it, and if I would increase my cycle period or decrease the cycle period, increase the number of metronome beats, that's going to be a more difficult task to accomplish. We're going to go into settings now, okay? And we're going to reduce the dwell time right down to 0.5 seconds just to show you how that increases the complexity. I'm going to increase the beats per minute as well, okay? And actually here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you again, we're going to go into the instructions, and we're going to say that we actually want there to be a head movement all the way from the right to the left during those movements, okay? So we're going to press next. We're going to press play, and I should now repeat what I see. F, J, I, X, V, G, I, M, E, D, L, H, as I'm moving my head. So it becomes a more complicated, a more difficult, a more challenging task as we're doing it. So again, the settings are allowing us to customize the task to the ability of our client.